By now, you have likely heard of Maya, the weaver of illusion. This world is but a dream. If you know anything about dreams, you know that you want to wake up before you pass on, and many of you have done that. But what happens when you wake up from a dream? It begins to fall away. This can be a threat to the pre existing dream. Today, we are going to talk about soul contracts, your soul blueprint, the grand blueprint, your identity. Did you know that your name is what creates your matrix? There are many who are trying to escape the matrix, but I say that they are trying to escape karma. Also, what does it mean when the poles shift, and have they shifted already? We're going to discuss the physical world, the spiritual world, and the bridge between the two. This is what I have named Morgana's theory, Morgana being the spider and the creator of the web of life. Now, Earth is 95 or so percent water, and this is a mermaid's world as well. Most of Earth is salt water, and water holds consciousness and codes. And we really want to remember this because all of our dreams come from the heart. And what surrounds the heart? Water. What surrounds the baby in the womb? Water. This is a really big part of the mother. And what makes a rainbow is the sun. That is how we are able to see. That is what nourishes earth, right? That is what allows our fruit and our food to grow. This is what goes into our eye, which is associated with the mother, to be able to see. And this is how a rainbow is created: the sun and the fire and the water of the mother. Morgana's theory: this is the blueprint, the master blueprint in which she is connected to. And she is electric. She can send shocks down this webbing at any time. Now, this can change. This is the past, present, and future, but it has all of consciousness combined. It was a while back that I got called into understanding soul contracts. That is a lot of the work I do, is of the dreams, is of soul consciousness, the sun, and identity. She is the one who weaves this web that we see right here. This is the matrix. Water holds codes and consciousness. This too is how we code the dream. The soul itself, of course, is masculine and feminine. Together, this creates a rainbow, the fire and the water. But we want to remember that it is the womb of the mother. At birth, you are given a Christed name. I don't know if you can see, there's a heart right here. This is your matrix. Your name holds a vibration, and this vibration is what creates your own matrix that is coming from your heart. So although there is one main matrix, right, this can change at any time. The past, present, and future can always alternate these timelines. But the one from your heart also has a main matrix of your name, and this is what decides who you're going to meet, what you're going to experience. This is your soul contract, is coming from your Christed name, the one that is on your birth certificate, your legal name. So yes, when you get married, when you change your name, this does change your destiny. This is a great thing if it is a marriage that is meant to be. That is not really a problem if that marriage is part of your contract, not if you're going out of karma, out of things of the past. If you're marrying somebody that you were not intended to marry, only love and be with for a period of time, this can alter your destiny in a way that is not necessarily for your better. And many have done this, and now you have to break that contract. This again will reshape your destiny. If you change your name back, it is going to go back to what it was. It does alter your matrix. Of course, there are planets that are moving around this matrix of Earth at all times that are affecting this matrix. When she was born, she has a blueprint map of the planets. They do affect us, they affect our body parts, they affect what happens. The planets and the stars are a bit of a clock for us as well. So this will also determine when this happens. Now, there's also a spiral in the way that we move that is occurring within this matrix. So depending on where you're at on that spiral depends on when something comes back to you. In addition, if a planet's in retrograde, right, this can be times that we are called to look back and to go back in time, if that's what you want to consider time. We're looking inward instead of moving forward. When you're born, you are in fate. You are of the moon. The sun is destiny. So when we are talking about the 3D and the 5D and the new dream, we can consider the black matrix, the black webbing, the 3D, what we can see. And 5D up is of the spirit matrix, which is going to be the pink and green behind here. You cannot see this. So when you've heard shifting from 3D to 5D or the new dream, this means you have tapped into your higher heart dream matrix beyond the 3D. There are many who say they are looking to escape the matrix that are actually looking to escape karma. There has been a lot of talk for many years about the poles shifting, but what if the poles shifted last year? What if it is moving from the nodes of fate to the nodes of destiny? The nodes of fate of the moon, this is K2, and the node of destiny, which is Rahu, of the sun. Now, these are not actually the sun and the moon. This is how the nodes work. So fate and karma, this is destiny, this is consciousness, this is consciously choosing your path. You can also consider this the tail of the dragon or the tail of the tiger and the head. Now, Rahu and Ketu are actually enemies of the sun and the moon. Rahu and Ketu want to be rulers and they're not. So we could also say that this could be a false timeline, but I'm not going to get deep into that right now. We have moved from the nodes of fate to the nodes of destiny. This is going from hell to heaven if you moved into your true heart matrix and you got off the matrix that you were born into, which was fated, again, based on our parents and their parents and their parents' choices, which was part of the plan the whole time. What happens is when you get used to these patterns, you have to be able to break free from this webbing and these spider webs of fate. And this is not easy to do. This is very difficult to do because you have to have the light of consciousness, which goes through your eye and your heart, which means your heart has to break open to get off of the matrix of fate that you were born into in order for your true soul matrix to come through. But there are beings who never got to accomplish their true will, who didn't complete their purpose and their mission, and they may wish you to live out their will or their dream. Or company owners do this, for example. They want you to live out their dreams and make them money and make them successful instead of you living on your blueprint. So one thing that we should all be very, very familiar with by now is that the mother has a lot to do with pain. A lot of people view pain as a bad thing, but your heart being broken open allows your true light, your true sun, and your contract to come through. But of course, you must be careful that you are not allowing somebody else's will to make their way in there. Again, Proverbs 4:23, guard your heart, for all of your life's consequences flow through it. Your matrix is your name, your identity that is written on your heart. So be careful. There are things we will not be able to avoid. We will never be able to avoid pain. And a lot of these soulmates and soul contracts we have with them, they came in to break our heart open so we can get rid of and destruct the webbing that was never meant for us. Many of us came in here with webbing that we were meant to break free from, meant to break those cycles so we can move into this green and pink and this spirit contract. Now, the heart is the spirit. We'll say that the black line is ego. It's visible. We can see it. These are walls at times. The spirit and the heart is the only thing that can penetrate through physical walls, through ego. When you awaken to this dream in your heart and the spiritual energy, and these walls start breaking down of the ego of the dream, again, the dream is going to fall away. But when you come to other people with love and this spirit energy, and it's trying to break down their walls and their beliefs and what their dream is, it is natural for many of them, for any of us, truly. It's really uncomfortable. They don't be careful that we're not pushing and forcing love, because this light is that spirit, the green and pink. The light of truth. This is information, and this is what's going to break these walls down. And again, this can be painful for some. Some people do not want that. True Christ, this is the teacher of the sun of this light. You must go through Christ, through the heart, to get to heaven, which is this pink and green, this spiritual grid, this 5D timeline that can move through these walls. But it does state in the Bible that we still do have to follow these laws of the land as well. You cannot only be in the spirit. And now that you have broken down the false walls, or the walls of fate, or the walls of karma, and you have, dissolved those, you are able to now forge your own path, create your own dream, cast your own spider webs. You become Spider-Man or Spider-Woman, and you are able to now create your own reality. Of course, it must be in the will of truth, in the will of the creator of all truth and light, and also the sun. The sun sends us codes to our heart. It is information. Light is information. Sound is information. They are one of the same. It is vibration. Your name too holds a vibration, and it is sending information at all times. And so is what is coded in your heart. You are sending information out whether you realize it or not. You can feel this information whether you realize it or not. And she can feel this information whether you realize it or not. She can cast webbing that can throw you off path. She can dissolve any web that she wants to. Other people may try to come dissolve webs that are meant for you. She is a black widow, okay? And this is very much having to do with the womb, the heart, your ability to express. Your throat chakra must be open in order for you to speak this into reality, whether you are doing it vocally or not, because this is your expression. And of course, your eye and your vision, which is connected to your heart. A lot of times there are people that are sent into your life that will attack the womb in other ways. This is not always to hurt you. These are tests of lust. When you lust, you are not creating from truth. You are creating from a lower nature as opposed to your true will desires. So as soon as somebody is able to access you through lust, now they are able to alter your dream as well. I want to understand that lust can truly alter your path. This is only coming from a lower nature, when your truth, your will is not only in your heart, but you're going to get this information from source. You're not going to get it from what you see. When you're going off of lust, this is trying to create from here alone, while the heart and the womb are connected and they work in tandem, as well as with the throat and the eye. You do want to make sure that you are not going off of your lusts, because this is only going to attract those people, those relationships and material things that are not going to fulfill you at the end of the day. It is only through the heart and higher, which is heaven, which is of the spirit, that you will be able to manifest from spirit, and your job is to make it a reality and to cast these webs. There apparently are magnetic poles that are not Rahu and Ketu. As far as I'm concerned, they already shifted, and that is what happened during the eclipse of April 2024. That was the official shift in the way that I see it, and it is still coming into play. We are officially going to be on this path if you made it. Again, this is of the spirit. The heart and higher is heaven. This is when you move into this matrix. Not everybody came to that matrix. Not everybody is creating from their heart and their dreams. Many are still on this, but that's not always a bad thing. I mean, that is their path for their heart and their blueprint. There is no comparison between two people's blueprint, because they do not have your name, your identity, your exact planetary alignment around your blueprint. They do not have your path. So there's never a comparison. When you get on your true path of your identity, then you are able to manifest your real dreams that you were born with and meant to create into reality. All four elements are vital. We cannot say one is more important than the other exactly, but fire and water, this is what creates the rainbow and the bridge between these two worlds. So when you have your masculine and feminine in balance, your heart in balance, you are a rainbow bridge. You are able to access both worlds and move in between both worlds with ease. And again, there's no need to go against or think the people who are only on this 3D path as bad people. Everybody has their part to play here, but not everybody has activated their rainbow DNA and the mother and father within. This is when you become whole. This is when you are in equilibrium with Earth's heartbeat, with true source, the breath of all life that is breathing through here. We are in equilibrium basically until we're born. We are pretty much in equilibrium until we are first born. This is when we experience, for the most part, our first major trauma that knocks us out of alignment. So we have to undo these patterns that took over, or that were casted onto us or projected onto us, or that we manifested ourselves. We have to clear all that away in order to move into equilibrium of the truth, of the true source. And this is all the other webbing is blocking that from moving through. We really want to remember that if the black is the matrix reality and the spirit, the pink and the green, is the dream, you want to make your dreams a reality, but you're still moving in between both worlds. You cannot escape the physical reality until you're not in your body anymore. So there is no need to fight this, but only break the patterns that is keeping one bound to a timeline that they do not want to be on. One of the best ways to break free of blueprints and to create is through joy, doing things that you enjoy, And you will realize the more that these patterns and traumas are cleared, that this moves you back to maybe things that you enjoyed when you were a child, for example. It has been said that laughter kills all evil, and we want to make sure that we are enjoying our time as much as we can while doing that. Comedy and things that keep us uplifted, and comparison is the greatest thief of joy, right? So we want to make sure that we are never comparing our blueprint and our path to another. I also want to mention on here how your name is your identity. It is like a tattoo on your heart. I have her tattooed. Your tattoos, the symbols, the words, the language, the thoughts, some are going to be like temporary tattoos. Some do not even leave a mark. And there are some experiences and patterns like tattoos that go really deep into the skin, right? And you have to have it laser removed. The energy of it will actually still be there until it is cleared. So we want to remember that all tattoos are not created equal, and they all hold a different energy within them as well. This is not always a great thing, and it depends who is tattooing and the spirit behind that tattooer. So when we are, working with other people, working with our art, the content that we consume, the relationships that we have, those that we are shaking hands with or being intimate with, what is this tattoo doing? How is this impacting your body, and your pattern is really what you want to think about. Because once you become more conscious and you're moving to your nodes of destiny, you can consciously create the type of people you want to experience. And you do have a contract, you do have a blueprint and a plan that you came here with. When you get back to the center of your earth, you're going to find that. And this is also the center of the sun and the eye, right? So you want to get to that portal that you're creating from. And when you are speaking from your heart, this is the sun, okay? And this is actually clearing that away as well, not only relying on the sun outside of you, which is feeding you codes and teaching you how to heal, okay? The sun is a shaman. So when you have activated this in your heart and you're singing the codes of your heart, the song of your soul, you are clearing away those false energy patterns, the ones that you don't want to stick, or that tattoo you don't want anymore, that you want removed, let's say. So you want to do this from here, okay? One more reminder, it is oftentimes pain, death, and endings that will allow these patterns to break away, that will trigger this inner sun inside the heart. So pain is hardly a bad or negative thing. It can be some of our greatest blessings, and so can the people and the soul contracts, the people we have soul contracts with, that come into our life that help free us from these patterns. Okay, somebody who's giving you everything you want and that you love or that you think you want, and does not trigger that part of you, is not going to help you break free from those patterns. Something else to add in here, imagine that this is somebody else's heart blueprint, and then this is yours. And what happens when two people are spending a lot of time together, especially if they're bonding in closer ways, this is what happens just by being in public, right? But your fields are merging together. So you do want to be considerate what you are merging with. But along with merging, there has been a layer of, we'll call this the algorithm timeline, that has been placed over and working through people's timelines. And again, this is what we consume, and it can be hard to avoid. So this is why you really want to make sure that you're getting to the core of your earth, of your heart and your identity.